And greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in Fort Myers, Florida. It's time for Hutchinson Community College women's basketball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Today, day one of a two-day stint in Fort Myers as the 9-2 Blue Dragons get set to take on the 7-7 Santa Fe Saints from Gainesville, Florida. Steve Carpenter with you, along with Blue Dragon Athletic Director Josh Gooch, as we get set for a couple of holiday games here in Florida. This is the 12th time that Hutchinson will be playing in a holiday classic, the second time in Florida. Blue Dragons having very good luck over those 12 games, or the first 11 times they've gone into holiday games. They're 20-3 overall and riding a 9-game winning streak. The last loss in a holiday classic was to Kirkwood in Peoria, Illinois, way back on December 30th of 2009. And I bring in Josh Gooch, who's going to help me the next couple days as we take over for Glenn and Rusty. They're stuck back in the frigid tundra of South Central Kansas. And Josh got in yesterday, and right now it's all basketball, isn't it?
It's all basketball, Carp, and that you're short on help when you have to call on me to be your sidekick on the radio. We do have somebody to help do the film this year, which is nice.
Yeah, you're not straddling a table and wondering if we were going to have to call Brooks and get a workman's comp claim on you if you would have fallen off that chair.
Certainly looking forward to the game today and tomorrow, but just a great opportunity for our student athletes to experience something different than just our normal routine, our Kansas schedule, and gives them an opportunity to get out of the state and come to some nice weather, nice, beautiful arena, and Blue Dragon basketball.
This Suncoast Credit Union Arena, only in its third year. Florida Southwestern State is the host school, and they've only had athletics. This is their third year, and already they've hung some banners in this place, especially for softball. In 2016, their first year, they had a National Pitcher of the Year, and then last year they finished third in the NJCA Division I National Tournament, and which is pretty good. So they've got 5 banners hung up here, and their women's team, who Hutchinson will play tomorrow, ranked 21st in the country. But we'll talk about them more. Number 11 in made three-pointers at 8.4 a game. They're number 13 in three-point percentage at 36.9%. So the Blue Dragons, who are one of the better defensive teams in the Jayhawk and in the country, will have their hands full today guarding the perimeter against these these Santa Fe shooters.
It's going to be an exciting game today, an opportunity for the Blue Dragons to kind of see where they're at, on a national level, and I'm sure the coaching staff has a great game plan prepared for us.
These will only be the third and fourth non-conference games of the year. Of course, the 26-game conference schedule prohibits any more games, but the last couple of years, Hutchinson has only played 2 non-conference games before jumping into conference play. And then this year we were in Florida. Last year we were out in Vegas, and it was nice weather out there. Hutchinson defeated Eastern Utah State and Snow College to run their holiday streak to 9 straight games. They come into this game with a 7-game winning streak, dropping their first 2 conference games of the year, both on the road to Seward County and Cloud County, but have now won 7 in a row. From your perspective, Josh, what's the difference in the turnaround of the team during this 7-game winning streak?
I think that the new players have, got accustomed to Coach Onch's system. I think they're playing with more confidence on both ends of the floor, and I think they have ratcheted up defensively, which all of Coach Onch's teams over the years have done, which leads to some good offense. And I just think that they kind of saw the pace that they're going to have to play at, and they've done a nice job of picking up their game. And I'm looking forward to seeing this team as they continue to go throughout the season. I told Coach Onchus yesterday, even after the shooter, and I said, the one thing you can hold your head real high on is that this team has improved a bunch.
We're going to take a 2-minute break, get the starting lineups, and get this game underway. It's the Saints of Santa Fe and the Blue Dragons of Hutchinson live from Fort Myers, Florida. You're watching Blue Dragon basketball. And welcome back to the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in Fort Myers, Florida. Steve Carpenter, Josh Gooch with you here on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Getting set for the Blue Dragons and Santa Fe Saints out of Gainesville, Florida. Let's get to the starting lineups. First for Santa Fe, who averages 72.5 points per game offensively and gives up 69. Grizel Sepulveda is a 5'7" sophomore guard out of Sanford, Florida. She averages 6.1 points per game. She's a one guard. Janicia Law is one of the three-point shooters we talked about. 5'4" guard, a freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida, averaging 12.5 points per game. Also 4 rebounds and 4.2 assists. Stephanie Jackson, a 5'8" guard, a freshman out of McKinney, Texas, 14.6 points per game, shooting 43% from three-point range. Also averages 4.9 rebounds and 3.6 assists per game. Brianna Richardson is a 5'8" freshman guard out of Orlando, Florida. She's at 12.9 points per game, also 29 three-pointers, 31%. And the one forward in this four-guard lineup for the Saints and head coach Chandra Stebbins is Rhea Smith, a 6'2" freshman from Charleston, West Virginia. Not much in the terms of numbers, 1.4 points, 3.1 rebounds per game, only shooting 22%. Santa Fe shooting 39% from the field. Again, number 11 in the country in three-point percentage at 36.9. Interestingly enough, they're probably their best three-point shooter, Julie Fournier, comes off the bench. He has 42 three-pointers on the year. For the Blue Dragons, it'll be the same lineup for the 8th consecutive game for John Auchus. Three-guard lineup led by Sarah Kramer, the 5'5" freshman guard out of Dighton, averaging 7.1 points per game, coming off her best game of the year. Alicia Brown, a 5'8" sophomore guard out of Leavenworth, 11.9 points per game, shooting 39% from three. Tia Bradshaw will be the point guard, 5'8" freshman from Dodge City, 8.5 points, 4 assists per game. Dejanay Roebuck, a 5'11" freshman forward out of Olathe, right at a double-double, 12.5 points, 9.6 rebounds, shooting 47%. And Jada Mickens, a 6-foot freshman forward out of Liberal, 15.5 points, 10.7 rebounds per game, shooting 50%. Blue Dragons averaging 69.9 points offensively, giving up 51.5 points defensively. Hutchinson shooting 40.5% overall shooting, 32.1% from three-point range, and they are the number 10 team in the country in free throw percentage at 72.2%. So, Josh, they haven't played since the girls haven't played since December 9th. Santa Fe hasn't played. First, the national anthem. So they stuck the national anthem in on us. Now I get to come to Josh Gooch. And again, Hutchinson hasn't played since December 9th. Santa Fe hasn't played since the 16th. Obviously, there's going to be some rust, but what are the keys for the Dragons in getting this game?
I think limiting turnovers for the Blue Dragons is going to be a key. Limiting the turnovers and just continuing to play solid defense, forcing Santa Fe to earn every basket that they get. And as long as we can, you can do that and keep the
on the table that we were using. up high with the camera. That's what Josh looked like last year. So I was very fortunate after 2 games to get him down nice and safe so we can get back to Hutch in one piece.
You bet. You know, you got to be a jack of all trades when you're a master of none.
So the Dragons being introduced right now. Again, Hutchinson riding a 7-game winning streak coming into this one. They last played against Barton on December 9th at the Sports Arena. Won that game 72-53, but some interesting notes about that game. The Dragons in that game shot a season-low 28%, but still won by 19 points. But the key thing there was that the Dragons are, for the year, averaging a little over 19 turnovers per game. They had a season-low 7 that night. So that kind of offset the poor shooting. And, of course, Hutchinson, one of the better rebounding teams in the country. And that, size-wise, as long as Hutchinson doesn't get into foul trouble, really bodes to the Blue Dragon side. So a rather short lineup for Santa Fe. They're wearing the dark uniforms. And the Blue Dragons getting their last-minute instructions from head coach John Onches.
They do have a tall girl, Ray Smith, is number 24, 6'2", is going to do the jump ball. So surrounded by a bunch of guards. Looking forward to watching the Blue Dragons tip it off.
Santa Fe's won 3 of their last 4. They last played on the 16th and lost at South Georgia Tech 65-60. 4-2 on neutral courts is Santa Fe. This is the Dragons' first neutral court game of the season, and we're set to jump it up. Rhea Smith to jump it up against Jada Mickens. Here we go. Thanks for joining Josh and myself on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. The game is underway, and the tip controlled by the Saints. Law will bring it into the forecourt, go down in the corner. 3-pointer on the way by Richardson, and it's good. So right off the bat, Brianna Richardson hits her 32nd 3 of the year, and Santa Fe leads at 3-0. Now the Dragons with the ball for the first time. Brown on the left wing. That's Alicia Brown into the mid-post to Mick, and she tries to drive, loses control of it. Dejanay Roebuck goes back and recollects the ball with 14 to shoot. Now on the left side is Tia Bradshaw. She drives to the baseline, gets cut off, and she stepped on the baseline. That's a turnover for the Dragons. Again, the Dragons have had turnover problems all year, 19.6 turnovers per game. But if that Barton game was any indication, they're starting to get over that. Richardson on the left wing, extended now out top to Sepulveda. Guarded by Sarah Kramer. Here's a 3-pointer on the right side by Stephanie Jackson, off no good. Offensive rebound, Smith. Santa Fe keeps possession. Now they reset. Now there's a steal by Dejanay Roebuck. She's ahead of the pack, going in with the left-hander. Lays it up, no good, but a foul called from behind. It'll be on Brianna Richardson. It'll be the first foul of the game, and Dejanay Roebuck will go to the line to shoot 2. Okay, we're having a discussion. One of the referees is over talking with John Onches, and had something to do with Alicia Brown. She's standing right there in front of the bench, and it may be some sort of uniform issue, which I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but Alicia's going to come out, and Brianna Bradshaw, the sophomore from Dodge City, will check in. So evidently something wrong with Alicia's uniform. Looked like we're going to get a switch. So here's Dejanay Roebuck shooting the first of 2. First one is good, and the Dragons are on the board, trailing 3-1 with 8:58 to go in this first quarter. Roebuck, 12.5 points, 9.6 rebounds. She hits them both. And the Dragons trail by 1, 3-2. Now it's a pull into the forecourt. Richardson out top between the circles, popping out to get it is on the right side of Smith. Handed off to Law. Now Sepulveda inside, ball deflected away and taken away by Tia Bradshaw. Here come the Dragons. Now Bradshaw loses it. Turnovers right back. Right underneath is Rhea Smith for the layup, and it's 5-2 Santa Fe. So turnovers going both ways. But the Dragons come out on the short end and now trail it 5-2 with 8:25 to play in the first quarter. Here's Mickens all the way to the hole. She's fouled by Smith and will shoot 2.
Good job of getting the ball interior and turning and trying to get it in the hoop by Mickens.
Mickens coming off a 28-point, 14-rebound game against Barton. her 5th double-double of the season on December 9th at the Sports Arena. And that first free throw too strong, and she'll get one more. Checking into the game for the first time for Santa Fe is Dallas Kennedy, a 5'9 freshman guard forward from Tallahassee, Florida.
And 34, Yvonne Ford, Niceville, Florida, 6'1 forward.
She's only playing in her 3rd game. Second free throw by Mickens is good, and the Dragons trail it 5-3. Mickens goes 1 for 2 from the line. Hutch still looking for its first field goal of the game. They're 3 for 4 from the stripe. Wow, dribbles to the right side, now back up. She'll pull up for 3 and swish it. That's a second three-pointer of the game for Santa Fe, and it's 8-3 Saints.
With all those guards, we're going to have to get out and cover them. That's going to be evident.
Working against the zone defense. Now top with it between the circles of Sarah Kramer. Now right side, Tia Bradshaw. She dribbles back out top. Now they switch back to a man defense to Santa Fe. Roebuck on the left side gets a back cut, but Tia Bradshaw's shot is blocked. Offensive rebound by Mickens. Her shot won't go. She gets another one. Powers up, can't get it to go. Roebuck the rebound. She goes high off the glass, can't get it to go. And another offensive rebound, but this time they're going to call Bree Bradshaw over the back. So the Dragons get 4 cracks at it and couldn't finish. And ultimately the loose ball foul called on Brianna Bradshaw. That's Hutchinson's first foul of the game. So trailing 5-3 early with 7.5 to play opening quarter. As Law out front working against Tia Bradshaw, drives, wraparound pass to Kennedy. Her shot no good, and Roebuck clears the board for the Dragons. Ahead to Jada Mickens. She'll lay it up and score. As the Dragon Bigs run and get an easy one, the Dragons are back within 3 at 8-5 with 7:12 to play in the opening quarter. As Stephanie Jackson take it to the lane, kicked out, top to Law. Now to Sepulveda. She winds up for a long three-pointer off the front end, no good. Long rebound out to Sarah Kramer. She can't control it, and Santa Fe gets it up underneath is Yvonne Ford. So the Dragons couldn't corral the rebound and now trail by 5 on the putback by Ford.
Doing a good job on defense. Just got to be more respectful of the basketball.
Dejanay Roebuck called for a travel, the 3rd turnover of this first quarter on the Dragons. A couple of subs in for Santa Fe. Julie Fournier out of Fernandina Beach. She's their best 3-point shooter. Also checking back in for Coach Chandra Stibbins is Rhea Smith. On the floor for the Dragons, Tia Bradshaw, Dejanay Roebuck, Brianna Bradshaw, Sarah Kramer, and Jada Mickens. Dragons trail by 5 with 6.5 to play in the opening quarter. Law on the left side, kicks around right side, three-pointer on the way by Jackson, rattles off no good. Offensive rebound, Saints, and they keep the possession alive. Here's Law for 3. She swishes it. Her second 3 of the game. Santa Fe has 3, and the Dragons trail it 13-5. Kramer now right side to Tia Bradshaw. Bradshaw gets it to Kramer, now to Bree Bradshaw. Trying to work around her. Here's Roebuck driving, gets cut off. Kramer in the corner, back out to Bree Bradshaw. 11 to shoot for the Dragons. Tia back to Bree. Brianna Bradshaw tries a 3, way short. And Dejanay Roebuck couldn't chase down the rebound. It goes over to the Saints with 5:49 to go. Santa Fe leading Hutchinson 13-5.
Need to pick up the intensity here on the defensive end. Control the basketball when we have it.
Law out front, working against Tia Bradshaw. Law out front, takes it to the left hand, pulls around, turnaround, fadeaway. That shot no good. And once again, Santa Fe gets the offensive rebound. That's their 4th of the game. High off the glass shot by Jansen, no good. And finally, the Dragons clear the board. Roebuck pushing it up the floor. Now slows it up off to Bradshaw. Right side to Kramer. She tries a 3-pointer. That shot too strong. And getting it for Santa Fe is Dallas Kennedy. Whistle away from the ball. Brianna Bradshaw whistled for her second foul. And now Alicia Brown comes back in, still with the same uniform. Also coming in is Kayla Barber for the first time. Bree Bradshaw and Dejanay Roebuck get a break. 5:01 to play first quarter. Santa Fe leading Hutchinson 13-5.
Apologize for the brief delay in putting the scores up. The rookie radio guy was in charge of that.
Dragons get a turnover. Brown kicks it to Kramer, back out to Brown. Now underneath to Roebuck. Kayla Brown. She goes up and she scores and it's fouled. So Kayla Barber immediately comes in. They call the foul on Brianna Richardson. That's her second, so that's significant. And a chance at a three-point play for Kayla Barber out of DeSoto, Texas. 5 points per game. Free throw rattles home. She gets the and one. And Hutchinson trails it now 13-8 with 4:50 to play in the first quarter. That's the best ball movement we've seen in this opening quarter by Hutchinson. Now out top is it with Stephanie Jackson. She dribbles to the left wing, worked on by Alicia Brown. Looking to go underneath, and a foul from behind. And it's an offensive foul. Rhea Smith, the starting forward, gets her second foul. That's 4 team fouls against Santa Fe. We just got the word on Alicia Brown, thanks to Denny Steckline. Here's a three-pointer right side, no good. And scrapping forward is Micken. She steps on the sideline. It should be Santa Fe ball. Reason Alicia had to come out was because she had to lose a white T-shirt. I didn't notice the white T-shirt that she was wearing, but the referees made her take it off. It clashes, so that's a uniform code violation. No technicals or anything. They just made her get rid of it, but she's back into the ball game. Now Santa Fe with the ball leading 13-8, coming up on the 4-minute mark of this first quarter. Skip pass right side over to Jackson. She holds it. Working against Smith. Drives to the baseline. Brown, excuse me. Here's a wide open three by Fournier. Got it. That's the 4 3-pointer of this opening quarter for Santa Fe. And it's 16-8 Saints.
They're sitting outside and letting them fly. Carp, we're going to have to get out and guard them.
And every one of them is pure. Brown picks up the ball in a little bit of trouble. Hands off now to Alicia Brown. Now Kramer between the circles. She works right side to Tia Bradshaw. Right back to Kramer. She tries a long three-pointer. Shot too strong. Battle for the rebound. Mickens gets it. Bounces it underneath to Brown. A little right-hander floater in. And Kayla Barber has 5 of Hutchinson's 10 points. Dragons trail by 6. There's a drive and a kick out. Now a three-pointer off the mark. No good. Tia Bradshaw the rebound. Dragons look to run with the ball, trailing by 6, 3:10 to play opening quarter. Alicia Brown drives, takes it, wrap underneath to Mickens. She lays it up and scores.
Great job of driving by Brown and great job of passing.
Mickens with 5. Dragons trail by 4, 16-12. Just under 3 minutes to play opening quarter here in Fort Myers. Here's a crossover. Now a pull-up shot by Ivana Boyd. Shot too strong. Kayla Barber the rebound. In a little bit of trouble. She pushes it ahead to Alicia Brown. Brown tries to drive, kick back out. Now a bad pass goes out of bounds, and that'll be turned over to number 4 for the Blue Dragons.
Yeah, just too many turnovers in the first quarter for the Blue Dragons to get into any type of flow.
Dejanay Roebuck back in for Jada Mickens. So the 5 on the floor for John Hodges, Tia Bradshaw, Alicia Brown, Kayla Barber, Sarah Kramer, and Dejanay Roebuck. Dragons trailing by 4, 2.5 to play in the opening quarter. Here's a drive by Law. Picks up her dribble and kicks it outside to Boyd. Boyd drives the baseline, cut off by Brown. Goes back at it again. Kicks it back out for a short jumper. No good. And a foul on the rebound will be whistled on the Saints. So the Dragons starting to come to life a little bit. Dejanay Roebuck got the... Ivana Boyd picks up her first foul. And we're shooting free throws at the other end as Santa Fe has reached the bonus, 5 fouls. Josh pointing out to me, as he did before the game, there's a scoreboard right across from us. I'm so used to, at the arena, looking side to side. Nene rattles the first one home. She has 3 all from the line. The Dragons are back within 3 at 16-13, 2:19 to play here in the opening quarter. Second one, that one on the money. Dragons now 6 of 7 from the line, and they're back within 2. They trail by as many as 6. Into the forecourt, the Saints. Law, bounce pass, nice give and go. Shot up, no good, but a foul called. They should get Tia Bradshaw for the foul. Will be a 2-shot foul coming up. And it is Tia Bradshaw. She picks up her first. Just the third foul of this first quarter for Hutchinson. First free throw on the way is no good by Destiny Williams. She's a 66% free throw shooter, averaging just short of 4 points per game.
Law is a handy point guard, Carp. He's a great passer, and she's shown to be a great shooter also.
Second free throw is good, so the 5-0 run by the Dragons ends. Hutchinson with the ball, trailing 17-14 with 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Tia Bradshaw picks up her dribble. Now Barber comes out to help. Ball worked around to Dejanay Roebuck. Kramer has it on the left wing. Up underneath to Brown. Alicia gets fouled. And she will shoot too. That will be on Yvonne Ford, her first foul. The Dragons are looking inside first, Josh, which is good to see. Really put the pressure on the Santa Fe bigs.
No doubt. They've done a nice job of passing it inside and rebounding. We just got to put it in the hole.
First free throw by Brown, no good. Much improved free throw shooter this year at 68%. Last year as a freshman, barely shot over 50. She gets another crack here. Just a second free throw missed by Hutchinson in this opening quarter. And that one's on the money. And the Dragons back within two at 17-15 with 1:51 to go.
Be a big possession right here. Need a stop and turn it into some points.
All three of Santa Fe's big three-point shooters on the floor right now. We'll see how that goes. Ford with an high turnaround jumper. Shot no good. Alicia Brown clears the board for the Dragons. They can tie it or take the lead with a three. Brown skip past right side. Tia Bradshaw tries the three. Got it! And the Dragons have the lead at 18-17.
Just what we asked for, Carp, a stop and a bucket.
Dragons first three of the game. Hutch by one. Fournier out front, hands it off to Jackson. Jackson tries to drive off a ball screen. Step back three-pointer, shot too strong. Tia Bradshaw the rebound, and a foul called on Stephanie Jackson, and we'll shoot two more with Tia Bradshaw.
Carp, the Blue Dragons are being aggressive, and you got to like that out of this team. You know,
that's
pounding the ball down inside or being willing to fire it. You know, as Tia just did a second ago. What a great shot by her.
That's when they're at their best. They're working inside and out, really playing off of Mickens and Roebuck. First free throw by Tia rattles off, no good. Tia, an 85% free throw shooter, averaging 8.5 points per game. Dallas Kennedy back in, a freshman out of Tallahassee, Florida. Several Floridians. There's one Texan, one from West Virginia, and one North Carolina player on this Santa Fe roster. Bradshaw with one more. No good, but chasing down the rebound is Kayla Barber. The Dragons keep the possession. Here's Alicia Brown back between the circles now. Tia Bradshaw. And then rolled in. Barber with the big first 55 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Genesia Law with the ball. Now Richardson between the circles. Dumped underneath the Sepulveda. Kicked out. A drive and a shot by Fortner, no good. Kayla Barber the rebound, her third of the game. Ahead to Tia Bradshaw. Dragons lift to run. Kicked right side. Now out. Here's Brown for three. Off the front iron, no good. And getting the rebound for Santa Fe is Dallas Kennedy. Now the Saints run. Pull up three-pointer by Ford, no good. Long rebound out to Kayla Barber. That's 4 rebounds in the first quarter. Shot clock off. Brown may have gotten the shot deflected. Now a battle for the ball underneath. And that should be Hutchinson basketball.
The jump ball, our ball.
13.4 seconds to play. Dragons with a 20-17 lead. Now coming into the ball game for the first time for Hutchinson's Alicia Green, 5'5" freshman guard out of Philadelphia. She will inbound it, baseline left side. Shot clock off. Ball comes all the way out to Roebuck. She drives, pulls up from 8, and rattles the shot home. Roebuck with 6, and it's a 22-17 Hutchinson lead. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Law drives, throws up a shot. May have been deflected, but it's too strong anyway, and we've hit 1 quarter of play here in Fort Myers. Dragons trail by as many as 6, but after 1, Hutchinson leads Santa Fe 22-17. Back with the second quarter right after this. I thought it was 8 when I said it. Yeah. Yeah. Ow. Yeah. Oh, that's Tina's check in the game. She's not used to this team yet. She's not used to this team yet. Yeah. Gonna dance on the floor, maybe around. Welcome back to the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in Fort Myers, Florida. I want to correct something I said earlier in the game that the Dragons trailed by as many as 6. They actually trailed by as many as 8, but now lead it by 5, 22-17. What was the difference that got the Dragons going, Josh?
I think their defensive rebounding, and trying to get out with the ball, that showed some aggressiveness, and I think they continue to fight and battle through maybe a little bit of cold hand shooting at the beginning. We took 5, 6 shots at just 2-point shots and didn't make any at the beginning. But here we go.
Second quarter underway. Santa Fe with the ball, standing out after losing to Rhea Smith, and offensive foul away from the ball, and it's going to be called on Junicia Law, her first. Foul is on Law, number 3. It's actually 4 turnovers. That's her second offensive foul. So 4 turnovers now for Santa Fe, 4 for the Dragons. First possession of the second quarter as Santa Fe has gone back to a 1-3-1 zone. High post in the middle as Barber looks to drive with the left hand, kicked out to Brown. Alicia drives and then throws it away, trying to skip pass it over to Brianna Bradshaw. That's the 5th Hutchinson turnover of the game. Hutchinson did not have a turnover the final 4 minutes of that first quarter, and you said early on that there were too many turnovers for Hutchinson to be effective.
You bet. I mean, just like that pass right there, 2 uncalled for passes by Brown. We got to clean that up.
Stephanie Jackson Brown now crosses over, drives in the lane, takes it all the way to the hoop. She's fouled and will shoot 2. And they're going to call Kayla Barber for the foul, her first. Barber a big first quarter off the bench for Hutchinson, 7 points. Dejanay Roebuck had 6. Jada Mickens 5 to lead Hutchinson. First free throw by Richardson is good. Stephanie Brown, her first points of the game. She averages just short of 15. Now Tia Bradshaw and Jada Mickens return. Alicia Green and Kayla Barber check out. Good minutes for Kayla Barber, who really kind of sparked the turnaround in the opening quarter. Second free throw is good by Stephanie Jackson. She has 2, and the Dragon lead cut to 22-19. Still in the first minute of action here in the second quarter. Tia Bradshaw, now Bree Bradshaw tries to dump underneath to Mickens, but knocked out of bounds by Rhea Smith. He stays with the Dragons and 20 to shoot.
You hit the nail on the head whenever we talked about Barber coming in and being a spark. What a great job she did. Was a presence inside. Get a little rest to get her back in there.
Ball inbounds to Brown. She goes up, is fouled, and can't get it to. That's Janicia. That's her second. And it is starting point guard Faye Saints. And Chandra Stibbins is going to replace her. She's got 3 players with 2 fouls. Law, Richardson, and Rhea Smith. Number 11, Alicia Brown. And the first free throw by Alicia Brown is good. She has 2, all from the line now, 2 for 3. Second free throw by Alicia, right on the money.
3 of her 4 carp have been, right down through the net. So
24-19 Dragons. Saints with the ball. With it is Ivana Boyd working on the left wing extended. Now she hands it off to Rhea Smith. Ball worked around to Stephanie Jackson. Dragons in their usual man-to-man. You'll never see a John Onch's team play zone hardly at all. May have been a travel. Now a kick out to Sepulveda. Step back three. Shot blocked by Bree Bradshaw. And coming away with the ball is Jada Mickens. Dragons with a good defensive stand on that possession. Underneath to Roebuck. Turns around, has a shot, get blocked out of bounds. A lot of contact and no call, but it'll stay with Hutchinson and 22 to shoot. 8:28 to play here in the second quarter. 24-19 Hutch with the ball. No inbound baseline right side. Tia Bradshaw looks to inbound. Still waiting. Now out top to Roebuck. Skip pass right side to Brown. Underneath to Mickens. She'll power it up off the glass. Can't get the shot to go, and Santa Fe comes away with it. Good look, just couldn't finish. Here's Stephanie Jackson taking it all the way to the loop. She's tripped, and just offensive fouls called.
Great job by Bradshaw just standing there and accepting the charge. Another turnover.
And that is the fourth Santa Fe player with 2 fouls. Stephanie Jackson will be replaced by Julie Fournier. So they replaced one 3-point shooter with another. Santa Fe had 4 3-pointers early in that first quarter, and the shots from deep have been a little harder to come by since. Brown drives, kicks it. Now there's a 3-pointer by Bree Bradshaw. Shot no good. Mickens the rebound, and she hits the putback. And the Dragons build a 26-19 lead.
Great position down inside by Mickens to get that rebound.
Mickens with 7. Hutchinson's largest lead is 7. 7:50 to play. Here's a drive by Law. Back out. 3-pointer on the way by Brown. It's an air ball. And Alicia Brown lets it go out of bounds. It'll be Hutchinson basketball. Sarah Kramer's going to come back in for Hutchinson to replace Bree Bradshaw. Also back in is Dallas Kennedy for Santa Fe. So let's set the lineup for you for Hutchinson. Tia Bradshaw, Alicia Brown, Sarah Kramer, the guards, Jada Mickens, and Dejanay Roebuck, the forwards for John Onches. Still working against a 1-3-1 zone. Brown left wing down to the high post. Mickens, she drives, goes up and gets her shot blocked, but a foul call on Rhea Smith, and that's her third.
Again, paying off, being aggressive, getting the ball down inside to Mickens, and you can see where that's been the plan from the very beginning.
That's her third.
This will already be the 12th free throw attempt for Hutchinson. Santa Fe's only shot 3. First free throw by Mickens is good. She has 8. Now it's 27-19. And you hear a lot of this. Why does one team have more free throws than another? Well, Hutchinson's just much more aggressive to the basket, and thus they're drawing the fouls.
You bet. I think, in any sport, they can say that, but the referees are going to call what they see.
Mickens 3 for 4 from the line. She has 9, and the Dragons have their largest lead of 9 at 28-19 with 7:20 remaining in the opening quarter. Good closeout by Alicia Brown on a possible 3-point attempt by Jackson. Now they work to the right side. Jackson has an open look at a 3. Shot at the back iron, no good. Ball taken away from Roebuck, and a battle on the court. Jump ball, and it should be Hutchinson basketball. So the Dragons actually going to get a break on that. Looked like Dejanay had the rebound. It was taken right out of her hands, and Jada Mickens hit the floor and tied it up and got the possession with the arrow going Hutchinson's way. So now they have a chance to extend this lead into double figures for the first time with 7 minutes to play in the second quarter.
The Blue Dragons are on a little 20-3 run. It'd be nice to see them extend it.
Kramer out between the circles. Now right side to Tia Bradshaw. Right back to Kramer. Open look at a 3. Got it! Kramer with her 17th 3 of the year. And Hutchinson leads by 12, 31-19. Whistle away from the ball, and this one's going to be on the Dragons. Looks like Jada Mickens will be whistled for her first foul.
Hutchinson foul number 32, Jada Mickens for first.
It's good to see Sarah Kramer, continue to, show that improvement she has from the first semester.
She's put a lot of time in with Phil Anderson, working on the footwork and getting those shots off a lot quicker. Comes off a 6 3-pointer game against Barton. There's a step-in 2-pointer by Stephanie. All 4 points of the second quarter for Santa Fe. Hutchinson with a 31-21 lead. 2-3 zone now being shown by the Saints. Tia Bradshaw surveys it. Now to Brown, back to Bradshaw. Into the high post. Roebuck, turnaround 13-footer, no good. High for the rebound is Ivana Boyd for Santa Fe. She pushes it up the floor herself, but 4 Dragons back to cut her off. Boyd still with the ball into the paint, picks up the dribble, waiting for a cutter, not getting one. Now coming out to get it is Brianna Richardson. Right back to Boyd. Puts it up with the left hand, shot no good. Roebuck the rebound. Here come the Dragons. Nene will slow it up looking. Now into the left corner, Brown. She looks inside, out to Tia Bradshaw. Tia tries a three, can't get it to go. Halfway down and comes back out. Santa Fe comes away with the ball, trailing by 10 and 5.5 to go here in the second quarter. Remember, Hutchinson trailed this thing by 8 points early on. Boyd in the lane, gets cut up by Mickens, and now a double dribble called, and that'll be turnover number 6 on the Saints. What are the Dragons doing defensively? They just come out a little further to cover those three-point shooters?
I think they have extended their defense out. I think they're playing better, in the transition, making sure to pick up the shooters. And again, this is their first time they've seen them, and it takes a little bit to get used to a different opponent.
Kayla Barber, Bree Bradshaw back into the game. Dragons with the ball. Tia Bradshaw out to her sister Bree, now left side Kramer. She drives the baseline, dumped underneath the Mickens, and gets the ball stripped away. That is turnover number 6 for Hutchinson. Pushing it up the floor, Janice Yala is back into the game with 2 fouls. There's a drive and a bounce pass deflected out of bounds by Bree Bradshaw. It'll stay with the Saints, and 21 to shoot. Into the game for the first time for Hutchinson's Vivian Chigbu, 5'9" freshman forward out of Abuja, Nigeria. She's had good minutes the last 2 games. Inbounds pass nearly thrown away. Dragons double team on the baseline. And stepping on the baseline for a turnover is Dallas Kennedy. So the Dragons cut off the baseline nicely twice and get the unforced turnover on the Saints, their 7th of the game.
Blue Dragons need to play hard these last 5 minutes to try to close out the half.
31-21, Dragons with the ball in the lead. Kramer up underneath to Barber on the right post, waiting. One dribble, now to Chigbu. She drives to the left hand, little floater, high off the glass, no good. Into the hands of Barber. Her turnaround shot way off the mark, and clearing the rebound for Santa Fe is Ivana Boyd, and she travels. So that is now 7 turnovers for the Saints. For the year, Santa Fe turns it over almost as much as Hutchinson, and 18.9 turnovers per game. The Dragons forced 19 turnovers. Tia Bradshaw to inbound baseline left side. Way out top to sister Bree. Now to the left wing, Kramer. Low post, Chigbu. She drives, kicks it out. Ball worked around. Here's Barber for 3. Her shot no good. And the ball nearly knocked away by Bree Bradshaw, but coming away with the rebound is Destiny Williams. Saints into the forecourt, trailing by 10. There's a drive and a pull-up 2 by Law. Off the mark, no good. And as she, whoa, wait a minute. They say it's
out of bounds.
I thought she was too. There we go. There's the correction. Referee pointed the wrong way. Ivana Boyd had the ball and had her 1 foot out of bounds, so she threw it back in, and the referee just pointed the wrong direction, but quickly corrected himself. And now the Dragons have the ball. Neither team scored in the last couple minutes, still 31-21.
Taking some ill-advised shots here, I don't think those are the ones that Coach wanted, and let's see if we can settle back into our offense.
Working against now a 2-3 zone. Tia Bradshaw drive, gets cut off, wraparound pass, nearly thrown away, kept in there by Sarah Kramer. She drives, kicks it out to the right side. Tia Bradshaw. Bradshaw drives, wraparound pass to sister Bree. 3-pointer way off the mark, and a shot clock violation on the Dragons. So last few times down, the Dragons have been out of sorts offensively.
Yeah, the 2-3 zone's giving them a little bit of fit. I think, they need to settle in and keep doing what they were doing earlier, getting the ball down into the post.
So once again, Santa Fe has a chance to cut this down to single figures. Good cutoff by Kramer. And now a steal by Barber. She takes it away and tumbles on the floor. Dragons 2-on-1. Barber to the hoop, loses control, and they call an offensive foul or a blocking foul. Dragons are headed back up the floor. I'm going to guess it is a charge.
It would have been nice if she had passed the ball.
Oh, they reversed it. It's a blocking foul on Santa Fe. All 3 referees got together. Looked like the outer official had 1 call. The baseline official had the other. All 3 got together, and they settled on the blocking call. And now we're still having a conference. 3:06 to go. Dragons with a 31-21 lead. And it's called against Julie Fournier, her first foul. And now we get a timeout on the floor by Santa Fe coach Chandra Stibbins, 30-second timeout. We'll take you with you. Dragons lead by 10 here in Fort Myers. How many total shots do you have? Okay, going down. Okay. Steve Carpenter, Josh Gooch, back with you here in Fort Myers, Florida. Trying to think of who actually it was Caleb Barber. He's going to be going the line to shoot too. Came off the bench in that first quarter, really provided a spark with 7 points in that opening quarter. So far here in the second period, the Blue Dragons have outscored Santa Fe 8-4. They led 22-17 after one, and now Barber, after a lot of deliberation by the officiating crew, gets a couple of free throws after a blocking foul called on Julie Fournier. Her first free throw by Barber is no good. She's 1 for 2. Second free throw by Barber, too strong. So the Dragons have cooled off from the line a little bit. 4 of 6 here in the period. And we get away from the ball. And Santa Fe calls another 30-second timeout. This time with 2:58 remaining. We'll keep it right here.
Carp, we got a great filmer, Emma Clark, doing our filming right now. What a great job she's done. And appreciate all our student athletes, but I also appreciate all the students that help us with our athletes.
Remember, Blue Dragon fan, Hutchinson men's and women's teams are back in conference play this Wednesday against the Cali Tigers in Arkansas City. Game times are 5:30 and 7:30. And then the Blue Dragons reports are in on Saturday, January 6th against the Allen Red Devils. The women's game starts at 5:30 with the men at 7. Join us at the Sports Arena and cheer on the Blue Dragons on Saturday, January 6th. Saints with the ball after their second 30-second timeout. Here's a bounce pass into the post. Little left-hander up and good by Destiny Williams. Her first points of the game. That breaks a long drought for both teams. 31-23, 2:40 to go. Dragons with the ball. To Bradshaw, now to Alicia Brown. Brown wants to go inside. Mickens is back in the game for John Autras. Here's a bounce pass underneath. Mickens tries to drive, kicked out. Kramer tries for three and nails it. Sarah Kramer gets her second three of the game, her 18th of the year. And the Dragons have their largest lead of 11 at 34-23 with 2:15 to play here in the first half. Wide open look at a three by Ivana Boyd, and the teams trade three-pointers. Saints with their fifth three-pointer, Boyd with her first, 34-26 with 2 minutes to play. Like Josh said a little bit ago, the Dragons need to finish out this half strong. Here's Mickens driving, one dribble, kicked it out to Brown. Tries a three, no good, but it goes out of bounds off the finger of Destiny Williams and will stay with the Blue Dragons in 1:49 to go. This is the first time really in a long time, Josh, that the Dragons lost track of a three-point shooter, and Santa Fe made them pay.
They certainly did, and that's what they're going to be known for, I guarantee it, the rest of this game.
And bounded to Barber on the right wing. Now back out top, Kramer. Left side to Tia Bradshaw. One dribble out between the circles. Brown working against a 2-3 zone. Tia tries a three-pointer. No good. Offensive rebound, Barber, and she's fouled on the way down. So Kayla Barber really providing a big-time spark off the bench as the foul's called on Dallas Kennedy. That will be her first. Santa Fe in the bonus already. Hutchinson with just 2 fouls here in the second quarter. Barber just missed a few minutes ago. Nails the first there. She has 8. And the lead back up to 9 at 35-26. 1:36 to play. Second free throw, good by Barber. She has 9. Lead at 10, 36-26. Dragons in their usual man defense. Is ball with Boyd. She takes it all the way, puts it off the side of the backboard. Kayla Barber with her 6th rebound already of this opening half. Now Tia Bradshaw slows it up and brings it into the forecourt with 80 seconds remaining. Here's a down underneath the Mick, and she can't get the shot to go. And saving the ball from going out of bounds is Ivana Boyd. Right now, Jada having some tough shooting luck underneath. Santa Fe trailing by 10 with the ball as we come up on the 1 minute mark in the first quarter. Sepulveda out top. Now left side over to Kennedy. Kennedy drives she gets cut off and she's traveled. Jada Mickens forcing that travel with good defense. Really moved her feet there, Josh.
She did great job of defense, and that's the thing, she might have had a lot of success on the offensive side on the offensive end, but she's battling back on the defensive end, and we'll see her improve, I'm sure.
Remember, the Dragons haven't played since December 9th, so Russ still being kicked off. Mickens in the mid-block, takes it with the right hand, can't get the shot to go. And here comes Santa Fe. That's what John Onches wants, her to be aggressive to the hoop. Shot by Sepulveda, no good, and then she tries to slap at it to keep it inbounds. It hits the baseline. Ball over to the Dragons with 33.7 seconds left, so there'll be 3.7 seconds difference on the shot clock and game clock. Jada Mickens comes out. Dejanay Roebuck back in. So the Dragons can hold it for almost the entire remainder of the half. John Onches calls the play, and Tia Bradshaw puts it into motion. Kramer now, Alicia Brown left side over to Roebuck. Roebuck waits for Barber to pop out. She goes right wing to Bradshaw. Tia looks inside, 12 to shoot. Brown pops out, head fake, drives it in the lane. Alicia all the way and gets a foul called as she hits the deck, and will shoot 2 with 10.1 seconds left. Foul's going to be against Ivana Boyd, her second. That's 5 different people with at least 2 fouls for Santa Fe. Rhea Smith has 3. She's the person in the most foul trouble. Right now, only Bree Bradshaw has 2 for Hutchinson. First free throw way off the mark by Brown, no good. She's 3 for 5, 3 points in the game.
I know they worked the free throws because I worked them with them last night at the shoot-around.
Second free throw, hits the front end, rolls off, no good. Offensive rebound, Kayla Barber, she turns around, can't get the shot to go. Now a battle, and coming away with it is Fournier for the Saints. Shot clock off with 1 second, and the shot doesn't get off, and we've come to halftime here in Fort Myers. Yet Hutchinson trailed early in the first quarter by 8, but takes a 36-26 lead into the locker room at halftime. We'll be back after this break, get you some stats, and Josh and I will talk a little bit more about not just this game, but Blue Dragon athletics in general. Again at halftime here at Fort Myers, Hutchinson 36, Santa Fe 26. You're watching Blue Dragon women's basketball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Okay, you want to total those up real quick. Oh, Danny. I'm going to get him one of these days. I'm going to get Danny one of these days. Both and then 3 separately. Combine them to figure the total. Us? What are we from 3? I only had it for 3 3-pointers. 1, 2, 3. I only had it for 3 3-pointers. 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. And I got Sarah with 2, Tia with 1. Okay, what total for them? How many total attempts for them? 27. How many three-pointers? Yeah. Calculator. Welcome back to the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in Fort Myers, Florida. We are at halftime as the Blue Dragons trailed by 8 at one point in the first quarter, but an 18-point turnaround, and they lead Santa Fe College out of Gainesville, Florida, 36-26 at halftime. Steve Carpenter and Josh Goots back with you. We don't have official stats as the stat crew from the temporary stat crew who was supposed to come in and work this tournament had to bail out all of a sudden. They share their stat crew with the four-year university here, and there was nobody available today, as it was told to me. So we will get you as good a stats as humanly possible put in between myself and Josh. First for the Blue Dragons, they were 11 of 35 overall. That's 31.4%. 3 of 12 from three-point range. That is 25% shooting. And, of course, I forget to figure up the free throws here real quick. Let me figure them up. 3 of 6, 3 of 8. 9 of 14. 12 of 19. 15 of 22. 15 of 22 from the free throw line for Hutchinson in that first half. Santa Fe, 9 of 27 shooting overall. That's 33%. 5 of 13 from 3. And they were 3 of 4 from the foul line. So the Dragons, with only 6 turnovers, only 2 in that second quarter after starting off really with 4 quick turnovers. They settle that down. Santa Fe now at 9 turnovers. Hutchinson led 22-17 after one quarter and outscored Santa Fe 14-9 in the second. Leading the way for the Dragons, Jada Mickens with 9 points. Kayla Barber also with 9 points coming off the bench. She really put the Dragons on their back in the first quarter with a big time spark off the bench. So Mickens and Barber with 9 points each. Dejanay Roebuck with 6. For Barber, you can also add 6 rebounds, a couple of offensive. 6 points for Sarah Kramer with a couple of second quarter three-pointers. 3 points for Tia Bradshaw. 2 points for Brianna Bradshaw. In the game but not playing were Alicia Green and Vivian Chigbu. Leading the way for Santa Fe, they are led by Janicia Laws, 6 points, a couple of three-pointers in the first quarter. 4 points for Stephanie Jackson, the team's leading three-pointer, kept off the books in the first half from deep, has a 2-pointer and 2 free throws. And then several people with 2 or 3 points. Ivana Ford with 2, Destiny Williams with 2, Ivana Boyd with 3, Julie Fournier with 3. Again, Santa Fe shooting 33%. but more importantly, 5 of 13 from 3. We said at the outset, Josh, that they were the number 11 team in the country in terms of made three-pointers at 8.7 per game, and number 13 in three-point efficiency at roughly 36.9%. So the Dragons, once they kind of got into the flow, really started cutting off the flow to the three-pointers.
You bet, Nate. They, without a doubt, that's their plan. I mean, they're playing 4-guard rotation, and they're going to push the ball up the court. But, I mean, any of their players are willing to step out there and shoot the three. So they're going to fire them up. The Blue Dragons got to continue to play good defense on those. Their interior presence isn't near what Hutch is. So, as they throw it down inside or the guards travel down inside, we got to continue to defend that. But looking forward to the Blue Dragons coming out. I'm sure they'll have a good plan to get it back down inside to Mickens. If Mickens had made a few more of those, it would have made a big difference, and she will. She's a great ball player, and she'll continue to fight for her shot, and those will go in the bucket. So looking forward to seeing how that plays out here in the second half.
And we said it several times early on in the broadcast that this was Hutchinson has not played since December 9th, so there was bound to be some rust that had fallen off the team in the first half. And significantly, that has been the case over the years and all these midseason classics that the women go to. It was kind of a slow starting team, just getting that rust knocked off. But the more they continue to play and get back into the flow, things really seem to go well.
You bet. The same thing happened last year. You remember, I can remember being in Las Vegas in that first half of that first game, just slow to go. But this team, they're going to knock the rust off here, and let's not underestimate the travel that we did yesterday.
Yes, indeed.
At the airport, pull in the airport at 6:45 with luggage and then sit on the tarmac for an hour. Get in. We're late for our shoot-around. Moved it back from 6 o'clock to 8:30 to 9:30 shoot-around last night. Meetings last night to kind of polish up the game plan, and then back here this morning. So, I think their legs are back underneath them. We just need to knock some of the rust off, and looking forward to the second half. The Blue Dragons, they're playing a pretty deep bench, so they ought not be tired. And let's give Santa Fe credit too. I'm sure they're having a little bit of rust to knock off also, and they're firing up threes and battling. So it'll be interesting to see the second half unfold, and looking forward to great effort out of the Blue Dragons.
36-26, Hutchinson leads at halftime. Josh, let's touch on a couple of things coming up real quick in terms of home games. First, on January 6th, it's our first game back from the break. It'll be against Allen Community College, 5:30, 7:30 starts. But it's going to be kind of a fun night. That's Hutch Rec Commission night with the Blue Dragons.
You bet. Have worked with Hutch Rec to establish, get more youth involved. And so actually it was a great idea by them, and they came and visited with me about it. And I had an idea, but honestly, their ideas was way better than mine. So sometimes that's the best thing you can do is go with somebody that has the better idea. And they had a great idea to invite each one of their players and teams that they have that play for them, and really looking forward to having them as our guests. We've given out over 900 tickets to them and their coaches, and hoping to fill the arena up with that youth and get some excitement in there for a January 6th tip-off versus Allen.
Now we have a lot of home, because of the way the schedule happened early with the National Volleyball Tournament, pushing the basketball teams on the road for 3 straight conference home games. There are a lot of home games in January that you can get to, and we hope the arena's packed for all of them. But there are 2 events in February that really take a lot of time to put together but are well worth it. That's February 10th, Hall of Fame night, and February 17th, the Pink Out night.
You bet. Both those events are traditionally great, great events. They take a lot of effort, from our staff, and we'll look forward to having a great turnout for them, bringing people back into the arena, Peak Outs for a great cause, at the end of the season on sophomore night, having our chili feed. Let's not forget that. People have been asking me, we're going to have a chili feed. And we have those North gyms now. We can have a chili feed. We'll have one of those the last regular season game of the season, sophomore night, and looking forward to having people come out and eat chili, and I know we'll be reaching out to people to make pies for that. So come support the Blue Dragons through the month of January and February, and let's push these things to some great postseason runs.
And in case you're wondering who's going into the Hall of Fame this year, will be basketball great Richard Morse and a couple of baseball greats, Tim Olson and Thad Weber. And the first Dragon golfer ever to go in, and Grady Pauls, a two-time conference champion and All-American. So, again, that will be at halftime of the Butler game on February 10th. And, again, peek out on the 17th, the chili feed. A lot of stuff going on. Here in Fort Myers, we're getting ready for the second half. Hutchinson 36, Santa Fe 26. Back with the second half right after this. Welcome back to the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in Fort Myers, Florida. Please join Josh Gooch and myself tomorrow as the Blue Dragons complete their holiday trip to Florida as Hutchinson takes on number 21 Florida Southwestern State. Pre-game will start at 1:50 Hutchinson time with airtime, assuming the first game stays on time, will be at 2 o'clock Hutchinson time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. And also, please say thanks to the Blue Dragons 2017-18 sponsors, Midwest Superstore, Gambino's Pizza, Sailor's Cleaners, Hog Wild Barbecue, All That Jazz, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, Briscoe and Doskel, and Qdoba Mexican Restaurant. Santa Fe will start with the ball with the second half. Starting lineups for both teams, both back on the floor. For Hutchinson, that means Tia Bradshaw, Sarah Kramer, Alicia Brown, Dejanay Roebuck, and Jada Mickens. There's a drive in the lane, shot up and good by Stephanie Jackson. So she has 6 now, and Santa Fe scores their first points of the second half, 36-28. Looks like Santa Fe may be attempting to go inside themselves, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, you see that's going to be their plan, and at least on the first possession, see how the Blue Dragons can do here.
Three-pointer on the way by Mickens, misses everything, and it'll go over to Santa Fe, that time working against the man. So Chandra Stibbins, who's in her 15th season at Santa Fe, 222-221 record, has been switching up the defenses against the Dragons. Here's a dump in underneath. Shot off the glass and good. That's 4 quick ones in a row for Santa Fe. The lead down to 6 as Ray Smith has now 4 points, and the lead down to 36-30. Dragons led by 10 at halftime. Take a while for the Dragons. Near steal by the Saints. Now a drive. Here's Mickens, 15-footer, way off the mark. She gets her own rebound, takes it to the hoop, kicks it back out to Brown. Now a pass deflected. And there's a turnover. So a 2-on-1, now 2-on-2. Layup is good by Janicia Law. It's a 6-0 run to start this third quarter. And the lead from 10 now down to 4, 36-32 with 8.5 to go. So not a good first 90 seconds by the Blue Dragons. Here's Mickens, spin to the left side, gets it, can't get it to go. She's just having a tough shooting game. And now ahead comes the Saints. Pass deflected and now taken away by Roebuck. 10th turnover for the Saints. Roebuck, 1-on-2, and she's called for the charge.
That's being charged. It was a charge. I mean, that gal stood there and took it.
First foul on Nene. So it's a 6-0 start to the second half for Santa Fe, and they get to try to add to that start right here. Dragons in the man defense. Janicia Law on the left side. They slow it down this time. Back out top to Brianna Richardson. Richardson dumped underneath to Smith. Tries to go up. Does. Shot no good. Clearing the board is the Blue Dragons and Jada Mickens. Now the Dragons still looking for their first points of the opening half. Top of the key, Mickens now right side. Kramer. Man-to-man defense. Turnaround jumper by Nene Roebuck. Gets her own rebound. Can't get the putback to go. And the ball knocked out of bounds, and they say it belongs to Santa Fe.
Just struggling right now offensively to put the ball in the hole.
Yvonne's
pretty much a master of the obvious here, but at the same time, we got to find a way to put it in the hole.
Maria Smith may have turned her ankle. She's limping off, and Yvonne Ford, a 6'1 freshman out of Niceville, Florida, into the game. So the Dragons had a similar start in the first quarter, where they fell behind by as many as 8 points. There's a kick into the left corner, and Richardson, she tries a three-point air ball. Brown gets the ball taken right out of her hands by Sepulveda. Now a dump underneath to Richardson. Bounce pass off to Ford. Scores. It's an 8-0 run, and that Dragon lead once 10, now down to 2. 36-34 with 7:05 to play here in the third. So obviously Santa Fe coming up with way more intensity than the Dragons to start this second half. Bradshaw now out top to Mickens. One dribble, two dribbles. Roebuck comes against it. She takes it in the lane left-handed. Little floater in the lane. Can't get it to go. Ball's tipped around and it'll stay with the Blue Dragons. And a full shot clock. 6:43 to go. That's 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And the Dragons haven't scored here in the second half. Tia Bradshaw to inbounds baseline right side. Waiting, looking, into Kramer in the corner. Kramer brings it back out now into the corner. Here's a baseline jumper by Bradshaw, no good. Mickens battles for the rebound, but it goes off the hands of Janicia Law and will stay with Hutchinson.
A little 0 for 7 shooting start, Carp, to start the second half for the Blue Dragons.
Dragons now 11 for 42 from the game, or for the game, excuse me. Again, Bradshaw baseline right side looking. Here's Roebuck, and she gets the 17-footer to go. That gets the Dragons off the schneid. Roebuck with 8.
I tried to use reverse psychology there, Carp.
Well played.
Huh?
Well played.
Yes.
Dragons by 4. Now they need to stop with 6:20 to go. Janicia Law goes underneath to Ford. Turnaround jumper off the glass and good. So Santa Fe has definitely turned around their game plan, where they were all threes the first quarter and a half, now trying to pound the ball inside and getting a lot of success. Dragons with a 2-point lead in the ball. Roebuck to Kramer. She tries a three from the right side and gets it. Her third three of the game. 9 points for Sarah, 41-36. And right there, you're seeing that footwork work with Phil Anderson really pay off. Now it's a turnover taken away by Kramer. 11 turnovers now for the Saints. Sarah pushes it into the forecourt, slows it down. Now dribbles, goes underneath to Roebuck. Off with the left hand, she gets it to go. It's a 5-0 run for Hutchinson. Roebuck with 10, and the Dragons back out on top by 7, 43-36.
Yes, sir. Good little spurt there by the Blue Dragons.
With the ball on the left wing extended to Stephanie Jackson. Now go underneath to Yvonne Ford. Her shot of glass no good, but another offensive rebound. Great pass from Lana Grizel Sepulveda. She gets her first 2 points on an offensive rebound, 43-38 the score. Hutchinson with the lead and the ball. Working against the 2-3 zone. They're matching up out front. Roebuck tries a three-pointer, no good. A little bit of a rush shot, and here come the Saints. Jackson up the floor, takes it all the way, throws an elbow out, no call, and she kisses it off the board to score. Jackson with 8, the lead back 3 for Hutchinson, 43-44, 42 in a fast-paced third quarter. Out between the circles, Alicia Brown. Bradshaw, now a 2-3 zone look for Santa Fe. High post Roebuck, they go high-low to Mickens. She goes and can't get to go, gets her own rebound, and she's fouled the second time. They might get Stephanie Jackson from behind, and they do, and that's her third.
Fouls on number 21, Jackson. It's her third.
So Jada Mickens, who's had a tough shooting game from the floor, 9 points in the game, 3 for 4 from the line, hits the first. So far in this third quarter, Santa Fe has outscored Hutchinson 14-8. Mickens and Roebuck tied for the team lead with 10, and now Mickens has it by herself with 11. She's hit 5 straight free throws, 45-40. Kayla Barber, who had a big first half for Hutchinson, back into the game for Jada Mickens, who looks a little bit frustrated right now. Now into the forecourt is Ivana Boyd running the point for Santa Fe. She crosses over, gets cut off by Bradshaw. Now out top with it is Law. Law dribbles off a ball screen, keeps it out top, now dribbles, crosses over in the lane, little floater, way short. Kayla Barber gets her 7th rebound of the game. Here come the Dragons. Bradshaw will slow it up. Looks to go inside, now does, but the ball deflected out of bounds by Destiny Williams. It'll stay with Hutchinson and 23 to shoot. 3:59 to go here in the third quarter. Dragons with a 45-40 lead. Bradshaw, the inbounds baseline left side, waiting for a cutter to come out. Now Barber gets it out beyond the three-point arc. She dribbles between the circles, picks it up. 17 to shoot. Dragons have plenty of time on the shot clock. Kramer now to Tia Bradshaw. Bradshaw bounce pass into the high post. Roebuck, 15-footer, good. Nene with 6 in the period. She got this Dragon team going after being outscored 8-0. And it's now it's a 47-40 Hutchinson lead. So Nene Roebuck putting the Dragons on back. Dragons with a good cutoff. Here's a drive to the lane. Should have been a travel and was. 12 turnovers now for Santa Fe as Fournier called for the turnovers.
Carp, doing this statistician stuff along with the radio makes me really appreciate Glenn Grunwald, Rusty Hills.
If we had the full crew here, you could just be doing the color yourself. Here's Barber with a 16-footer, no good. High for the rebound, Janicia Law. She looks to push it for the Saints. Dribbles to the left side with the left hand. Now hands it off to Richardson. Richardson out to Boyd. Boyd takes it, dumps it underneath, and a foul called before the shot could go up. And they call Brianna Bradshaw, and that's her third. She's the only Dragon with more than one foul. Saints look to him. Here's a turnaround shot, no good. And the Saints get another offensive rebound. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Long rebound goes out. Sarah Kramer goes diving to the floor. She comes up with it. Now the ball being batted around again, and the Saints have it. Law out front, wrap-around pass. Three-pointer on the way by Richardson is good. Brianna Richardson with her second 3 of the game, her 33rd of the year. And that 7-point lead cut to 4. 47-43 with 2.5 to play here in the third quarter. Dump by Kramer underneath. Good up and under move by Nene Roebuck, and she scores 8 in the period, 14 for the game.
Great
and it's 49-43.
Roebuck down inside, got the ball right where she wanted it, finished it off.
That was a Josh Gooch move right there, the up and under move. There's a long three-pointer that's way short. Good box out, but then a foul call as Tia Bradshaw goes to the ground, and riding her all the way was Ivana Boyd, who will pick up her third foul. Oh, they call Tia with the foul.
Wow, that did not look like a foul from my vantage point, but I am not anywhere near the referee's spot.
You mentioned Rusty Hilst. Today is Rusty Hilst's birthday.
It is. I think he's 47 today.
That could be reversed, but we'll check on it. Denny can send us the actual numbers via text here shortly. So kind of a strange call goes against the Dragons, and Santa Fe has the ball. Chance to cut into a 6-point lead. There's a pass underneath and a good strong catch and score by Destiny Williams. And it's 49-45. So Tia Bradshaw now has 2 fouls after that rather strange call. Mickens drives, puts it up. She scores. It counts, and she's fouled.
Nice, strong move, aggressive move, for Jada. Got the ball, worked it down inside, picked up the foul also. So
Brianna Richardson picks up her second foul, and a chance at an and 1 for Mickens. And free throw is good. She has 5 in the period, 14 for the game. And the Dragons regain that 7-point lead at 52-45 with 1:37 to go. Okay, we'll be back on the air. 1:50 Hutchinson time tomorrow, assuming the first game stays on course. 2 o'clock Hutchinson airtime. Hutchinson and number 21, Florida Southwestern State. That ought to be a dandy, but still work to be done here against Santa Fe. On top is Ivana Boyd working against Tia Bradshaw. Wants to go with the left hand. Pulls up along two. No good. Good box out by Mickens. Now the Dragons can try to extend this lead to either 9 or 10. Into the corner is Bree Bradshaw. One dribble back out top to her sister Tia. Now they work to the right side, and Kramer working against Fournier. Mickens pops out, top of the key. Now it goes underneath, but the pass is kicked by Janicia Law. It'll stay with the Dragons, and they should reset it to 15. It should be 15 in the women's game. They reset it to 20, but in the women's game, it goes, there they go. A little confusing when you're...
Hey, but you know your stuff, Carp. You know your stuff. You knew it. They just need to ask you.
Inbound to Barber, now out top to Kramer. 11 to shoot, now 10 for the Dragons. Out between the circles is Tia Bradshaw. Barber pops out high, dumped underneath the Mickens, turns to the left side, gets her shot blocked, and here come the Saints. That was Destiny Williams with the blocked shot. Now the ball deflected and taken away by Kramer. The ball was deflected by Tia Bradshaw. 13 turnovers now for the Saints unofficially. Tia Bradshaw in the lane, pulls up, back out to Barber. She tries a long three-pointer and nails it.
Barber for three.
She comes off a 3-3-point game against Barton. Near turnover kept in by Janicia Law. 55-45, the lead back to 10, and that's where it started at in the first quarter. I imagine Denny is sending us his response right now from our request of Rusty's. There's a drive to the hoop and a score by Law. A little scoop shot for the left. Now they press and turn it over. The shot no good at the third quarter buzzer. And after three, it is Hutchinson 55, Santa Fe 47, back with the fourth quarter in 1 minute. Got to go in and find it, preload it. So I think that is what I made that mention is workman's comp. Welcome back to Fort Myers, 55-47. Dragons will get the ball to start the fourth quarter. Santa Fe got the lead down to 2 a couple of times, but the Dragons recovered. Now Santa Fe trying to pressure the ball high. There's Barber with it. Back out to Alicia Green, who's in the game for the second time. Into the right corner, Bree Bradshaw will sit the line up here for you. Mickens at the free throw line. Ball works around with 8 to shoot now. 17-footer by Barber, and she nails it. Kayla Barber is having a huge game. 14 points for Kayla. That's a career high.
Great
And it's
job by
57-47.
Continue to be aggressive.
Now, shot deflected, or it stays with Santa Fe. Law inbounds way out top, and they have to chase it all the way back into the backcourt. And Stephanie Jackson gets it.
We're going to do a score at.
Smith scores.
Sorry about that. A little temporary fix we had to make. Rhea Smith scores on the inside to make it 57-49 with 8:50 to go. Bree Bradshaw, Alicia Brown, Alicia Green, Jada Mickens, and Kayla Barber, the 5 on the floor for the Dragons. 15-footer by Barber. Can't get this one to go. And here come the Saints trying to look to cut this 8-point lead. Jackson with the dump inside, and ball still being batted around. The Saints have it. Richardson now out top to Law. Law tries to drive, goes in the lane with the left hand, hits the front end, no good, and Alicia Brown clears the board for the Dragons. Dragons looking to extend an 8-point lead. Green now right side on the sideline to Bradshaw. Dumped underneath to Mickens. She powers up, gets her shot blocked. And here come the Saints. So the tough shooting day continues for Jada Mickens. Three-pointer on the way by the Saints is good. Brianna Richardson hits her third three of the game. 34 for the year now. And that 10-point lead once again sliced in half. 57-52. 2-3 zone look by the Saints. Bree Bradshaw out top between the circles of Green. Back to Bree. Now in the left corner, Brown. Brown skip pass right side. There's a long two-pointer by Bree Bradshaw, way off the mark. And clearing the board is Stephanie Jash, and she looks to run herself. Takes it in the lane, kicked outside. Now one more pass. Look at a long two-pointer. Battles around, no good. And Kayla Barber, once again, going to the boards hard. And now John Onchus will take a timeout. We'll take it with him. 7:16 to go here in the fourth. Dragons lead 57-52. This is Blue Dragon basketball. You can join us tomorrow, 1:50 p.m. for the pregame show. Hutchinson and Florida Southwestern State. Here, Hutchinson with a 57-52 lead and the ball. Tia Bradshaw, now they try to extend it to Santa Fe. Here's Kramer, pull up from 15 on the baseline. Shot way short, and Sepulveda to the rebound for the Saints. Here's Jackson. Goes all the way to the hoop and can't get the shot to fall, but she draws the foul. We'll see who they call it on.
Roebuck, number 22, her second.
Nene Roebuck called for her second foul. She's only the second person with more than one. So the Dragons with the ball. Near takeaway, but Roebuck keeps it. Nene gets cut off to Kramer. Now underneath to Barber, but the ball tipped away, and the Dragons turn it over for the 9th time unofficially. Here's a drive all the way to the hoop and a score by Brianna Richardson. She has 7 points in the period, 10 for the game, and the Dragons have a 2-point lead. They need to respond again. Kramer. Now between the circles, Brown, left side to Roebuck. Dragon offense has grown a little bit stagnant here. Barber tries a long three-pointer, shot no good. And the ball goes out of bounds, last touch by Nene Roebuck. So now the Saints can tie it or take the lead with a three. They have not had the lead since since late in the first quarter. Skip pass right side, and the three-pointer rattles off, no good. Barber with another rebound. So the Dragons keep the lead. Now Tia Bradshaw gets the ball knocked away from her, right in the hands of Roebuck, and she dumps it underneath to Brown, who's fouled on the way up, and the Dragons are going to have to score from the free throw line. Foul called against Bree Richardson, her third.
Santa Fe foul on Brianna Richardson. That's her fourth.
Check that, her fourth.
At the line, Alicia Brown.
First free throw by Brown, rattled home, hung on the front end and dropped.
You got to be good with the free throws down the stretch here, Carp.
Brown, who hasn't got a field goal yet today, now 4 for 7 from the line for 4 points. She had a stretch where she tied or broke her career high in 3 straight games. Second free throw way off the mark, no good. Dragons 4 of 5 from the line in the half, now 17 of 21 in the game. Out front with it is Ivana Boyd, looking to go off a couple of ball screens. Now hands it off to Law. Over the left side to Jackson. Into Richardson, nearly thrown away, kept alive by Law, working against Tia Bradshaw. Drives off a ball screen with the left hand. Little running left-hander, no good. She gets the rebound on the ground while she's sitting on her rear end, but then throws it away.
Very athletic guards. Our defense is really having to step up and, work off the picks and switching men, women. So
14 turnovers now for Santa Fe as we go under 5 minutes to play in this one. Bradshaw, Roebuck, left side, hands it off to Alicia Brown, now between the circles to Kramer. Right wing extended to Bradshaw, right back to Kramer. Sarah tries a three-pointer, shot no good, but Jada Mickens chases down the rebound, and the Dragons get a new 30. Underneath to Roebuck. Skip pass outside to Brown. She takes it, goes up with the left hand and scores. Alicia Brown on a feed from Nene Roebuck, and John Otches calls a timeout. That's the first field goal by Alicia Brown. 60-55, 4:31 to go. And we'll keep it right here. And what do you think, Josh? What do you think John Otches is telling his team right now?
Well, I think he's probably just telling them the flow of the offense, maybe has a few things drawn up here, late game items. So want to remind them of those, and just continue to, remind them to play solid defense here. Stay on your man, keep them in front of you, defend all their shots. But, I'm sure he's trying to work through some of the things to, continue to make that offense flow. It had gotten stagnant there for a little bit. So looking forward to this last 4:31 with the 5-point lead.
Well, we knew this was going to be, this whole, at least first 2 months of the season, 2-3 months of the season, was going to be a work in progress with so many freshmen. And 2 non-conference games before they had conference play. So they're still growing as a team, and a big learn curve for this team. Now Santa Fe with the ball, trailing by 5, dumped underneath to Yvonne Ford. Turnaround jumper, but a foul called on Mickens as she went up.
That's probably the biggest change in the second half is how much Santa Fe's went inside. Trying to develop the inside game. Hutch is not a big team by any stretch.
They made that switch just a possession before the first half. First free throw by Yvonne Ford, no good. Just a 41% free throw shooter. Ford with 6 points in the game. And I didn't catch who that foul was on. That's the one thing they don't have on their scoreboards is who the foul is on. Mickens clears the rebound after the second miss by Ford. And now the Dragons try to extend a 5-point lead with 4:10 to play. Santa Fe switches back to a man-to-man defense. Kramer protects the ball, hands it off. 17-footer Nene Roebuck off the side, no good. Bit of a rush shot. Now here come the Saints. Chance to cut the lead to 3 or 2. Here's Jackson. Baseline floater, no good. Ball bounces around all the way outside. Another offensive rebound. Dumped underneath. Shot way strong by Ford. And Nene Roebuck comes away with the ball. So the Dragons really dodge a bullet on that possession. Kramer brings it across with 3:38 to play. Again, man defense for the Saints. They've been switching back and forth all day. Now extending it out. Kramer between the circles. Ball deflected away. Brown chases it down. 11 to shoot. She picks up her dribble. Now Roebuck comes and gets it. Skip pass right side. Ball deflected. Tia Bradshaw gets it. Now a three-pointer. Brian Brown may have been deflected into the hands of Mickens. She scores at the buzzer of the shot clock, and the Dragons lead 62-55. What a break.
That's what John was drawing up at that timeout, was that series of events.
So Jada Mickens scores at the shot clock. Buzzer sounds. Dragons with a 7-point lead. Shot inside, no good. And a fight for the rebound. Jump ball called, and it will stay with Santa Fe. That's one thing. The Blue Dragons this year have yet to be out-rebounded. And I think when I go back and check the film, a lot of offensive rebounds. As a team all year, Hutchinson was only giving up just a shade over 9 offensive boards for the per game for the year. And I know they've given up at least that many today. Sepulveda inbounds baseline right side for the Saints, trailing by 7 with 2:56 to go. Throws all the way out top to Stephanie Jackson. Jackson will pick up the dribble, now go right side to Fournier. All their three-point shooters for the Saints are in the game. Hand off to Jackson. She dribbles into the lane. Little scoop shot up too strong. And another rebound tie-up between Mickens and Destiny Williams, and it's Hutchinson basketball with 2:40 to go.
Blue Dragon ball.
Now the Saints picking up 94 feet. Tia Bradshaw nearly gets it taken away. Keeps possession, dribbles to the top of the circle, and brings it back out, working against Jackson. 17 to shoot. Left wing extended is Brown. Goes inside to Mickens. High off the glass to score is Jada Mickens. And it's a 9-point lead, 64-55 with 2:15 to go. Mickens with 18. Now a drive in the lane, ball deflected out of her hands, and it's taken away by the Blue Dragons. Good work by Jada Mickens. Tia Bradshaw will slow it up, and it is now 16 turnovers by Santa Fe. Under 2 minutes to play. Out between the circles, Roebuck now right wing extended. Kramer, she goes inside to Brown, who dribbles it all the way around but double dribbles. That was clearly a turnover. 10 turnovers for Hutchinson. So again, the turnovers since that opening minutes of the first quarter really cut down. You had 4 in like the first 5 minutes, only 6 since.
They did. They've done a nice job of that. And I want to commend Jada Mickens, not having a great night percentage-wise, but her effort nonstop. The effort there on the defensive end was second to none.
Here's a drive to the left side by Boyd. She puts it high off the glass, but it's fouled. Now, do they call it on the floor? No, they call it on the shot. Tia Bradshaw whistled for her third foul, and Ivana Boyd, a 45% free throw shooter, goes to the line. 3 points for Boyd. Well, she didn't look like a 45% free throw shooter there. Pure right through the net. 1:43 to go, 64-56. One more for Boyd. And good. So Boyd with 5 and a timeout called, a full timeout by Chandra Stebbins of Santa Fe. 1:43 to go. Dragons 64, Santa Fe 57. You're watching Blue Dragon basketball. When they don't have on the scoreboard, there's 2 actually committed a foul. So it was nothing that we said. There's a message board that I'll just delete off. That's what it was. Once I saw the screenshot, I knew what it was. That was fun. It was neat. And that's what I thought when I got that initial set. 64-57, 1:43 to go in Fort Myers. Hutchinson with the lead. Steve Carpenter, Josh Gooch with you, and John Auchus will send out Jada Mickens, Tia Bradshaw, Alicia Brown, Sarah Kramer, and Dejanay Roebuck. A big second half for Roebuck. Hutchinson leading by 7. They will face full court pressure from Santa Fe, and this has given Hutchinson problems throughout the year. being double teamed, nearly taken away, but Kramer gets it. It gets it across the timeline. Now she'll slow it up at being double teamed. She's being trapped in a little bit of trouble, and timeout by John Otches to keep the possession. 20 to shoot when we return. We'll keep it right here. It'll be a full timeout. No, we will take a quick break, and 64-57, Hutchinson with the lead. Once again, please say thanks to these 2017-18 season sponsors of the Blue Dragon women's basketball team. Midwest Superstore, always a big thanks to them. Also Gambino's Pizza, Sailor's Cleaners, Hog Wild Barbecue, All That Jazz, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, Briscoe and Dosco, and Qdoba Mexican Restaurant. Also tomorrow afternoon, we'll be on the air approximately at 1:50, assuming the first game stays on time. But we will start at 1:50 as Hutchinson will take on number 21 Florida Southwestern State. And just looking ahead, Josh, still work to be done here, but just the way Santa Fe is playing the Dragons, that's really going to give Hutchinson a pretty good look at what we might see tomorrow. Florida Southwestern with a lot of good aggressive guards as well.
You bet. They play each other. I mean, they common opponent now, so be interesting to finish this game out and then prep for our next one.
Dragons get it inbound. Tia Bradshaw between the circles, 15 to shoot. Now Brown out top to Mickens. Mickens drives with the right hand, gets double teamed and tied up, and it goes over to Southwestern. And that's the one thing you just don't want to dribble into a double team like that. And that was a freshman mistake by Jada. Now 11 turnovers for the Dragons, 1:20 to play. Chandra Stibbins switching up players for both offense and defense. Law takes it, goes all the way to the lead. May have been deflected by Sarah Kramer, and Jada Mickens comes away with the ball with 1:10 to play. Tia Bradshaw once again being double teamed. In a bit of trouble. Gets it off to Roebuck. Now underneath to Kramer. She'll power with the left hand and score on a feed from Nene Roebuck, and the Dragons lead at 66-57. Sarah with 11 points. There's a hesitation move to the rack shot, no good. Ball comes all the way out to Sarah Kramer with 47 seconds left. Sarah speeds it up the floor now, slows it up, being covered by Law. She gets into a double team and throws it into the hands of Jackson. Another turnover for Hutchinson. Jackson over to Law. Long three-pointer on the way, off no good. And Nene Roebuck with the rebound with under 30 seconds to go. Shot clock should be off, and it's not. The shot clock should be dark. Here's Mickens into the lane, and she's fouled. That shot clock should have been off.
Santa Fe foul on number 32, Destiny Williams.
Destiny Williams picks up her first foul. And Jada Mickens, 18 points in the game. Although if you talk to her, Josh, she's probably not going to be real happy with her overall performance. First free throw good. Now 19. Dejanay Roebuck with 18. She had 8 points in the third quarter. You can kind of break down two different people who really sparked the Dragons. First quarter, it was Kayla Barber after Hutchinson was down by 8. Third quarter, after the lead got dwindled to 2, Nene Roebuck with 8 points in the third quarter. Second shot, no good. 17 seconds to go. The Dragons are going to come away with the win. Here's a shot blocked by Mickens. Now a force-up shot by Jackson, no good. Jada Mickens the rebound. Shot clock dark, and that's going to do it. Hutchinson's going to win their 8th in a row overall, their 10th consecutive holiday game. That's the buzzer, and Hutchinson wins 67-57 over Santa Fe here in Fort Myers. So the Dragons improve to 10-2 overall. The Saints fall to 7-8, but it was definitely a battle. Now the Dragons will go get a bite to eat and then come back and check out their opponent for tomorrow, the Florida Southwestern Buccaneers. We'll take a 2-minute break, total up the stats, and wrap this one. Again, the Dragons defeat Santa Fe 67-57. This is the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
What?
No, it went off anyhow.
Yeah, that's fine. You could have wide. Just have a wide shot.
They were wide of the whole court. Goes through the whole court and goes all wide.
All right, just give me those totals real quick. Five is 17, so 25 is 65.
And they had 28 shots.
28, 27 is 55.
And they were 2 of 6 for 3 points.
2 of 6, so 7 is 19. 53. Okay, can you figure up 25 out of 65? Can you pull your calculator up real quick? I'm still making a. So 25 out of 65.
So 25 times.
Divided by 25 divided by 65.
25 divided by 65%.
What was it?
25.
25 divided by 65.
No, you can't do that.
That's not right though. 25. 25 divided by 65. 65.
Okay.
No, just equal. There we go. 38.5. Okay, 5 divided by 17. 29.4. 23 divided by 55. 49.8. And 7 divided by 19. 28. Okay. Then 22, 4, 7.
We need to text on if it's good enough for the first game.
If you want to. We'll film tomorrow.
No, don't do the ball because we're going to get out of here.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Suncoast Credit Union Arena in Fort Myers. Hutchinson with a victory of 67-57 as the Blue Dragons win their 8th in a row, now 10-2. Steve Carpenter and Josh Goose with you. Let's get the stats going here real quick as we need to break down and get going. First for the Blue Dragons, 25 of 65 shooting overall for 38.5%, 5 of 17 from three-point range, 29.1, 18 out of 26 from the free throw line. The Dragons did commit 13 turnovers. Jaden Mickens leads the way, 10 points in the second half, 19 overall. 14 points each for Kayla Barber, that's a career high. Nene Roebuck with 14, Sarah Kramer with 11, and Alicia Brown with 9. Those are the only scorers in the game for the Blue Dragons. Real quickly for Santa Fe, 23 of 55 shooting, 41.8%, 7 of 19 from three-point range. And the Saints were
I didn't get the turnovers, but they also committed 16 turnovers. So, Josh, you kind of look at this. Dragons got up to slow starts in each half. But in the first half, Caleb Barber off the bench provided a huge spark. In the third quarter, it was Dejanay Roebuck. But really, Jada Mickens kind of invoked her will in the fourth quarter to carry the Blue Dragons to victory.
Yeah, I mean, this team is going to have to play as a team. And they, excuse me, they did. They had moments where they played really, really well and moments where you see where the rust was evident. So, you're right. The sparks came from a couple individuals, but I mean, I think one thing that never was lacking was effort. I felt like the effort was there the whole game, and they're going to need that tomorrow when they take on Florida Southwest. So, great win to kick off a second semester, so to speak, and a great way to start this trip off.
Indeed, it was. So Hutchinson gets the win, 67-57 now, 10-2 overall. And winners of 8 in a row. So we'll be back with you again tomorrow. And again, this is assuming the first game stays on time. We're scheduled for a 1:50 Hutchinson time at a Central Time pregame, 2 p.m. tip-off, which is 3 p.m. here in Fort Myers. So we look forward to bringing that to you. Josh and I had a good time today.
Yeah, and we could always start the live stream, Carp, and you and I could just kind of ad-lib a little bit if we needed to.
We've never done that before.
We could prior to the game, if it starts late, ad-lib. Take some call-in or text-in questions. Would be willing to answer anything you have.
I'm sure Denny Steckline has a few questions for us.
I'm specifically speaking to Denny Steckline right now. Really appreciate the tweet Denny put out in regards to Carp and I's apparel that we were wearing. I did take a picture just to confirm we did have a blue and red polo on representing the Blue Dragons in Florida. He
did miss a golden opportunity. He could have put Miami Vice on there with you and me, but he really missed a golden opportunity.
He did, and there's always an opportunity for payback when you're dealing with Danny.
Indeed.
We do wish everyone back home, happy holidays, and thank you for tuning in and bearing with the lack of quality from your color guy. That is also the statistician and the scoreboard operator on the live stream. But it's nice to be able to have the technology to be able to bring this back home to our fans. I know there's the fans that hung in there and watched the game. They're interested in how the Blue Dragons are doing. They're lifelong fans, and we thank them so much for joining us.
So Jada Mickens with 19, 14 each from Caleb Barber and Nene Roebuck. And the Blue Dragons get the 67 victory, now 10-2. Again, we'll back with you tomorrow afternoon, 1:50 Hutchinson time, 2 p.m. tip-off, as the Blue Dragons take on number 21 Florida Southwestern State Buccaneers from Fort Myers, Florida. Until then, for Josh Gooch and our camera person, Emma Taylor, we thank her so much for all her hard work today. Steve Carpenter from Fort Myers. We'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody. So long.